Hi folks, just a quick video to show you where to edit the sub-menu font styles. We're getting into some advanced stuff here if you haven't watched any of the advanced tutorials yet. Really, it helps if you have a good idea or some sort of an idea of how to work with CSS within the style sheet. At least know how to change colors and font sizes and things like that. It's not really within the scope of the tutorial to demonstrate how to work or modify CSS. I just want to show you where it is. Let's open up the site styles.css. The drop menu, the submenu, is started by this notation right here, drop down sublevel. So you have a good idea of everything below this has to do with the drop menu. And if you're not sure what we're talking about here, let's just resize our page here. When I hover over and click on an item, everything in here is a submenu. That's what I'm referring to, and that would be the background color, it'd be the hover color, the font color. Everything you see within this area here, this little submenu, is what we're referring to in this tutorial. Right? And all the styles for the submenu are located underneath the drop menu sublevel title. Starting off with the font size, color type, weight, decoration, and shadow. And it's pretty straightforward from this point on. If you haven't watched any of the other advanced tutorials, changing the information in here is just a matter of basically replacing it with your own. If you wanted larger fonts, you change the 14 for 16 or 18 px or pixels. If you want to change the color, you double click on the hex value, hit the backspace until you nudge it up to the word color, shift and colon key on your keyboard to activate the color picker. If you haven't learned that trick yet, it's a great little trick for changing the color. Okay, I'm just going to back my way out of there. So this is for the main drop down. Okay, if you sort of scroll down the page a little bit here, everything is labeled. There's the font hover color. There's the background color. Okay, and then we have the arrow color and the button color. I'm not going to go into great detail because really it's, if you want to change those things, hopefully you already have some experience in working with CSS and you can understand what all these different properties mean. All right, and I just wanted to, like I said, show you where they're located so you can get in there and change things for yourself. The only exception really to the rule is the background for the drop menu. This color here, it's actually derived from a background image in most cases. The reason being is it helps us to match the color specifically to the theme when we're working on a theme colorization. Okay, you could use a solid color if you wanted to. You could just simply, if you see a background URL like so, you just get rid of it. You use the old pound sign and you type in the color that you want. Let's do a nice 5-6 gray color. So I'm just going to save that for an example, right? And we're going to go back and we're going to refresh our page, open it up, and now it's a gray color. Okay, so you're not stuck with what's in here. You can modify it. So if we use an image, you can use a color in place. That's where I say it sort of helps if you know what how to modify CSS. And if you know how to modify CSS, you might also recognize that we've also put a background color above the background itself. So if you did want to use a color, you could technically just remove this style altogether and then modify the background color property as a default. So if we remove that and we refresh it, we'll see what happens here. You see it's actually a solid color here and again. And it looks very much identical to the background image that we had in there. Like I said, it was what we call a redundant. So we want to make sure that it shows the same on all devices. So we used a background image as well. There we go. So other than that, the rest of the goodies are in here. You can play around with these. Worst case scenario, just keep the page open, use Control Z, Control V to undo what you did, and see what sort of things you can come up with.